Good morning, everyone. It is 8:59, so we have one more minute until we get started. During this time, you can make sure you are in a safe environment. You have a sturdy chair with a straight back, and if you need something for balance, having an extra chair or some type of countertop or something you can use for balance if you plan to do any standing. I'm going to actually remove my slippers today. All right, my clock says 9 o'clock now, so we will get started. I'll go through some reminders first. So first, welcome to Cowichan Brain Injury's 10, 10, and 10 morning wake-up session. Cowichan Brain Injury Society is a nonprofit serving the people of the Cowichan Valley that have brain injuries, as well as their caregivers and families. I am Billy. I am the registered kinesiologist at Cowichan Brain Injury Society. At Cowichan Brain Injury Society, we run programs such as educational programs, social programs, movement programs, as well as some cognitive exercises in some of our programs. Safety. Remember, you are in control of your own body and your own safety. Making sure your space is clear of any hazards is number one. Having some water close by and being grounded in your own body so that you know if you need to take a rest, modify something, go to sitting if you've been standing, etc. Cowichan Brain Injury Society is not liable for any risk or injury that may occur during this program. Also note that any information or advice I give you should be taken with a grain of salt. Always seek medical professionals if we're talking about, say, nutrition or sleep. Finding people who specialize in this. I do a little research and provide some information, but I am not a doctor. All right, I think that is everything. We're going to get started. As a reminder, this program, it's called 10, 10, and 10. We spend 10 minutes moving, 10 minutes learning something new, and 10 minutes on mindfulness, tackling some of the pillars of brain health. So I'm going to listen to some music. I've got my earplug in here, my earbud in. I'm going to play some music to help me get moving. We're going to start with some gentle movement, get our heart rate up a little bit, and our joints mobile and lubricated, etc., getting us ready for the day. So I'm going to press play here. And we're going to start with just our arm swings. We do this quite often. So we'll bring them back and then up. Back, up. We'll spend about 30 seconds with each exercise. If you're standing, this looks basically the same. You can do a little bend in your knees. Good work. A few more seconds here. Awesome. We're going to keep working our arms. I want you to place your arms on your head, actually, and then come out in front. Head out in front. Nice. Again, while standing, this will look exactly the same, but standing, again, you could add in some knee bends if you want to make it more challenging. Good job. Getting our elbows moving here. We're going to keep our arms on our head, and then we're going to put our elbows out to the side, and then coming back to the middle. Out to the side, back to the middle. Good work. Always going at a speed that feels good for you and your body. Standing. A couple more seconds here. Good. Okay, we're going to be in a starfish position. So our legs are extended and wide, arms extended and wide. If we're standing, we're in a nice wide stance, arms up overhead. And then we're going down towards each foot, alternating hand to foot. So opposite hand to foot, then alternating Other side. That's what it looks like while we're sitting. Have our core engaged. Nice, strong posture at the top. This is what this looks like sitting or standing. Bloop. Still waking up. Good. Keep it up. We're going to do this one a bit longer. Another 10 seconds here. Nice work. Okay, let's do some arm circles. Arms might be getting a bit sore here. I know I'm feeling it already. Did do a big workout yesterday. And the other way. Okay, we're gonna get some rotation in our hips. So we're going alternate from side to side, but we'll start with our right leg, and our feet are pointed forward, and then we're gonna lift our right leg to the side, pointing then the opposite way. Next leg. Good. Just opening our hips up. Do the same. Awesome work. Good, we're gonna do some foot tapping in and out. So one foot goes out, comes back in, out, in, standing. We'll go nice, try and quick speed up this action. Nice and quick here, get our heart rate going. Good, let's see how we're doing. My heart rate is elevated. You can get your hands, arms in with the movement. Good work. A couple more seconds here. Good. I'm going to go down to our ankles. We're going to do some nice big circles here. Draw O's with your toes as best you can. Get full movement through that ankle, other way. Good. Move to the other foot. Other way if you haven't switched. I don't know if I switched. Okay, we're going to do forward taps, heel taps, just like this. If you want, you can do the opposite arm reaching out. Let's get your brain working, doing opposite actions. Cross hemisphere work, standing. Nice job. A few more seconds, about 10 more we're going to go here. Awesome. Okay, this next one's a bit funny. Take your right arm, you're going to wrap it over your head, and your left is the other side. And then you're going to switch. Whoop. I turned off my music, touched my ear. So we're kind of giving our head a hug here. While you're standing, same action, not adding any legs. Good. Nice job. And relax. Let's give your body a bit of a wiggle. Good work. We're going to do a step backwards. So if you're on your chair, I want you right on the edge of the chair. Nice engaged core. And you're bringing your foot back as far as you can. You might not be able to bring it that far back, and that's fine. You're just trying to get those hamstrings firing a little bit here. So if we're standing, I want us actually bringing our heel up to our bum. Good. I'm going to just go forward again. I'm going to bring that heel to the bum at a pace that feels good for you. You can bring your arms cross in front while you're doing this. Nice work. A couple more seconds here. Good. Okay, we're going to work on a hip hinge here. So only our hips are engaged. Again, nice engaged core, neutral spine, tall and long here. We're bending forward as far as we can. Neck and spine completely neutral. So I'm not lifting my head like this. Staying neutral. Standing. Only go as far as you can keep that back straight. If it starts to round or arch, it's too far. Nice and neutral. Ten more seconds. Slide your hands down your legs. Okay, we're going to be doing some rainbow arms. If you're in a seated position, you're doing rainbow arms here. And then I want you to, at the bottom, push into the ground. Rainbow arms up, down, push. Rainbow, push. If you're standing, when you come down, you're in a squat. Squatting down, lifting up to the sky. Change your rotation. Draw a rainbow the other way. This is our last exercise. We're going to do this for 30 more seconds, 25. Again, going at a speed that feels good for you. Listening to your body. Awesome, we're almost there. I'm switching again. I did one direction for longer. 5 more seconds. Nice. Whew. I'm going to pause my music. Take that earbud out. I hope you're feeling a little bit worked up for your day. Joints are feeling nimble and loose, hopefully. And heart rate hopefully got up just a little bit. We're not trying to do any like extreme exercise here, but my heart rate went up to 110. So that's a pretty good, for resting being at 60, it's pretty good. So if you have something to track, take a look at how your heart rate's done, how much it's increased through the exercise. Okay, we're continuing our conversation with sleep. I'm gonna grab some water. We've been talking about sleep throughout the month of April. I'll bring my chair a little closer. And we're going to talk a bit about sleep hygiene and what that means today. So when we talk about sleep hygiene, what we're referring to is both your behaviors around sleep as well as the environment. So it encompasses those two pieces, environment and behavior. Now, it said you can have kind of like good sleep hygiene or maybe not so good. I don't want to say bad, but not so good sleep hygiene. So what makes up good sleep hygiene and why is it important? So having good sleep hygiene will help foster a good night's rest, both quality as well as quantity. Getting enough, but not too much, as well as going through those 4 cycles we talked about last week, or I talked about last week. So doing different things to make your environment conducive to a good night's rest, as well as having certain behaviors that help you with that, can be really beneficial. Now, what does this encompass? So often when we're talking about environment is that we are sleeping in the same spot every night, and that spot is designated for sleep. It is not used for other things. You don't study there. You don't watch TV there. You What do I sometimes do that's not, you don't eat in your bed. Like that bedroom is for sleep and, maybe some intimate stuff, whatever. And ideally, the temperature is lower. So it doesn't have to be lower all day, but if you're not using it, you don't really need it to have a higher temperature, but it should be under 20 degrees. Mine is set, my little thermostat's set to 10. Like, I'm sure it gets hotter, obviously, during the summer and stuff, but trying to keep it under 20 degrees is really beneficial. Our body falls asleep much easier when it is cooler. Other things is making sure it's quiet, making sure it's dark, and obviously cozy. So having appropriate mattress and pillow that helps you to sleep. So that's some of the environmental pieces to help you sleep better. Now, behavioral stuff, this is things that we do to help us sleep. And some things to avoid that are not great for our sleep hygiene is avoiding eating large meals. They say actually up to 3 hours before you go to bed. This won't work for everyone. I need to eat a little bit before bed or else I wake up really nauseous and have a hard time eating in the morning. So we're all different. Just take note of that. But having higher glucose levels is not great for your sleep. Therefore, at least only having small snacks before bed, or none at all. Avoiding too much exercise, especially exercise that really brings up your heart rate. Exercise kind of stimulates, produces, dopamine and all these good things in our bodies, adrenaline that kind of gets us jacked up for the day. So doing that right before bed can be too stimulating, and we're trying to bring down or stimulate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is that rest and relaxation system. Avoiding drugs or alcohol, including caffeine, few hours before bed. I think caffeine, they recommend don't have any more caffeine after 2 p.m. kind of thing. Again, everybody is different, what they can handle. I definitely don't have more caffeine after 4. Not good for me, but I can have it up till 4, so yay. Also decreasing your screen time. So no screens, that includes your phone, ideally before, an hour before bed. Again, this can be easier said than done. I definitely use my phone before bed, but only for very minimal things. I'm not reading the news or anything on there. I have a goal app. I check my goals and usually send a goodnight text to my partner. But other than that, I'm not using my phone. And the less screen time you can have before bed, the better for your sleep hygiene. Having the same routine and having a routine that helps with bedtime. So again, some things that stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system to help you kind of calm down, and doing the same thing every night. Building these habits is really, our brain loves that. We start to grab onto that and be like, oh, these pieces mean it's bedtime, and it will help us to fall asleep. So things that might help, and again, you got to experiment and figure out for yourself, is having a warm bath, reading before bed, journaling, some maybe light stretching, maybe listening to a podcast or something like that, listening to calming music, doing some yoga. We're going to talk more about different relaxation techniques to help you sleep next week, but finding a bit of a routine before bed. Also starting that routine at the same time every night, meaning your bedtime should be at the same time every night and waking up at the same time. That is actually one of the key things, is just trying to have your bedtime and your wake up time be the same every day. It can be really helpful for our sleep hygiene. So I'm going to share with you my routine just to give you an idea. And I would be thrilled to hear other people's, what they do before bed. Do they have a set time they go to bed and wake up? I know for me, if my kid has a bad night's sleep, it ends up affecting my whole routine, which you might have heard me talk about this already because my kiddo has been having a hard time sleeping lately. So I will use them also as a bit of a guide. So when I have my kiddo, they are usually ideally sleeping by 9:30. So for me, at 9:30, I usually go watch a show. And then at 10, I come back and it really starts my bedtime routine. So I brush my teeth, I do some light stretching, then I get into bed and I journal first and make my to-do list on my little whiteboard by my bed and for the next day. And then I read. And I am always turning off my light, putting my book down before 11:30. It's usually between 11 and 11:30. I'm putting my book down and I start my nighttime bedtime routine around 10 p.m. Now, if my kiddo has a hard time sleeping and it isn't asleep until 10 or 10:30, then I still want to go watch my TV show, and then everything gets pushed back. And now I'm either skipping one of my little habits, like I don't get my stretch in, or I don't journal, or I'm going to bed at midnight, which is not ideal. So I really try to have that same kind of structure every night. It has been quite helpful for me, and I wake up at between 7 and 7:30 every morning. And I've been actually probably doing that for a few years, and I sleep pretty well. Obviously, there's some times when I'm more stressed and that's more affected, but for the most part, I keep the same sleep routine. I go to bed within half an hour of each other the same time, between 11 and 11:30 every night, awake between 7 and 7:30 every morning. Let's see if I covered things. Oh, another thing, I will put a link. I've been listening to the Huberman Lab podcast, which he's fabulous, and he talks about the physiology of a lot of different things, but I've been listening to his one about sleep, and he talks about how what you do during your wakeful hours is really essential for your sleep as well, and really tapping into that circadian rhythm. And one of the huge things you can do is in the morning, right when you wake up, is to get outside. There's parts in our brain that have evolved to notice the angle of where the natural light is, which helps stimulate our circadian rhythm, which is really cool. He gets more into the science of that in this podcast, which I'll link below. But yeah, what we do during our wakeful hours can also really affect how we sleep in the night. Yeah, I will ask or challenge you all to take a look at what your sleep patterns, or not sleep patterns, your sleep hygiene looks like. Do you have a routine? If not, what kind of routine might work for you? And if you don't want to do that, or you feel pretty good about those things, or you're just like, no, Billy, that sounds awful, then I'm curious about tracking your sleep. What time are you going to bed each night? Do you feel refreshed and ready to go in the day? What time are you waking up? So just tracking a little bit, writing down, what time you're going to bed, what time you're waking up. And that can just give you some information. Maybe you know your sleep is fine, then keep doing what you're doing. All right, we are going to get into a bit of a relaxation today. We are going to use some gentle movement to guide our relaxation practice today. So kind of like Tai Chi. Tai Chi is really integrating your breath and your movement. And we're going to do the same thing while in a seated position. So before we get started, again, I'm going to get you to rest one hand on your chest and one just above your belly button. I want you to first tap into and notice your breathing. Noticing the rise and fall of your lungs. As you inhale, where do you feel the rise most? And as you exhale, I want you to try to breathe down to that lower hand more so. So on the inhale, pushing out that lower hand. As you exhale, it comes in. Inhale, pushing it out. Exhale, come in. This is a good way to challenge belly breathing and your diaphragm and core and get some engagement there. Continue breathing in and out, trying to slow your breath down, lengthening your exhale. Now with your hands in this position, on your next inhale, I want you to expand your arms out. And exhaling, coming in, switching which hand is on the top and which is on the bottom. Inhaling out, wide, exhaling, coming back. Inhaling, exhaling. Moving at your own pace, using your breath to guide these arm movements. You can close your eyes once you fall into this movement. Connecting with your breath and your body. Trying to let any stress melt away. And to allow any thoughts to just pass you by, not giving them any attention. Noticing them and letting them to continue to float by like they're a cloud. Always refocusing on your breath and the movement. Let's do 2 more, and we're going to land our hands back on our body. Keep breathing there. If you're not on the edge of your chair, we're going to go on the edge of our chair and just widen our legs a bit. Nice wide stance. Stay connected with your body here. The next movement we're going to do is we're going to have our hands out in front. Keep breathing. On your next inhale, you're letting your arms rise. Exhale, come down between your knees. Inhale, paint up with your fingertips. Exhale, down. If you want to involve your spine a little bit, you can. As you come down, you can round your back just a little bit. Inhaling a little arch at the top. If your hands and body don't flow perfectly, don't worry about it. Just finding what feels right for you and what can feel calming. So this might be a lot smaller of a movement if that's what your body needs. It might just be one hand if that's what your body needs. Letting that movement guide your breath. Inhaling. Let's do 3 more here. Moving as slowly or as quickly as your breath guides you. Let's bring our hands back on our body here. Noticing yourself feeling grounded, connected, one with the universe. Before we end here, let's just do some little neck circles. Again, you can use your breath to inhale, come down, exhale, back. Go the other way. Just little head circles, just what feels good. Again, we're finding the flow. What feels right for you. Come back to the center. Bring your awareness back to your space and your environment. I am hoping that you feel grounded and ready for your day. And from everyone at Cowichan Brain Injury Society, keep that brain healthy and continue to work at all the things that's meaningful to you. All right, bye.